Welcome back to Indiana Diecast Racing and the worst track ever. Today it's groups 43 and 44 of the Final Fantasy Fracas. As they used to say over at Rust Belt, they're baby cars. Hector comes to us from the land of the dead to try for Uncle Jim's janky jalopies in F-Bomb, a bullet bill weighing 41 grams. I'm not sure that's Disney approved, Uncle Jim. From Big Al's Custom Diecast, Racer, that's a great name for a race car driver, is behind the wheel of Smelly Cat, a 38-gram catapult. From Rust Belt Diecast, former NHL hockey player Jean LaRose is driving the 39-gram 2.5s. It's a, well, I don't know what, but it sort of looks like an AMC Gremlin, but hopefully it doesn't drive like one. And from Raw Sun God Racing, Tip Tip is driving Little Creeper, a mid-drift weighing 43 grams. Hector and Racer start up front, Jean and Tip Tip in the back. The other day, someone heard Hector was racing and was like, hey, he's a dead guy, he probably shouldn't be driving. Which is probably true, but you also could argue that you probably shouldn't model a car after a bullet either. Racer rolls an echo base, and Hector and Tip Tip make the pass as Jean LaRose gets caught up in the wreck right in front of Raw Sun God. The dead guy leads through the Savage Square and will take the opening lap. Tip Tip rolls in backwards for second. Racer seemed to be on his way to an easy win, and I'm honestly shocked a car that small and low is even capable of a rollover, but the Empire claims another one. Everyone gets by, however, except LaRose, who in typical Rust Belt fashion can't catch a break. Hector and Uncle Jim's with the early lead. They rotate around and LaRose takes the pole for lap 2. Hector and Racer get a quick jump on the outside lane and they quickly pull ahead. They spin their way through Echo Base, and Hector leads through the square. He looks to be in good... Wait! Hector's in trouble! Racer is spun as well, but is recovered, and will slowly coast to a solo lap 2 victory. An unfortunate end to Hector's lap. These lightweight cars really struggle to get going on that final straight. Tip Tip is hung up on the wall in the entry to the square, and Jean is somehow on his roof, having knocked over the Ninja Turtle sign. It's starting to look like it doesn't pay to be in the lead in this group, as for the second time in a row, the leader suffers catastrophic problems. Things looking uneven in yet another group plagued by DNFs. Tip Tip of Raw Sun God starts on the pole for lap 3. The inside lane starts quick this time, and LaRose and Hector are left in the dust. Tip Tip leads for the first time today, but Racer's all over him. They both spin and slow, entering the square with Jean and Hector nowhere in sight. Racer rolls in the final turn, and Tip Tip is going to coast to an easy Mater-style victory, and here comes Hector to do the same thing for second place. Those are going to be a big 3 points. So much for cats always landing on their feet. There's LaRose checking out the Arlo sign. A great battle between Tip Tip and Racer here on lap 3. Tip Tip was never really able to pull away from Racer, and Racer kept the pressure on all the way down. But unfortunately, you don't get points unless you complete the lap, so all that effort was for naught. Hector and Tip Tip move into a tie atop the group as we head to the final lap to see if Jean LaRose can get to the finish line. Racer needs a big win, starting on the pole with Tip Tip outside and Hector behind. Jean already lagging behind, and Racer takes off on a mission to make round 2. Chaos and Racer is... Ooh! Racer explodes off the track as Hector and Tip Tip battle for what is now the lead. Tip Tip comes to a stop, and lap 4 is going to finish a little anticlimactically as Hector slowly rolls in backwards for another W. And Jean is giving us a little plug for Bay City Diecast once again on his roof. Hector overcomes his lap 2 DNF with a strong second half to win the group. Tip Tip ekes by as well. Group 44 should be a little different with some larger cars. First up from Puffs Racing, it's JJ Smooth piloting the Rocket, a 31-gram high-tech missile. Side note, the high-tech missile was one of the castings that had success in the Cub Scout tournament that predated the start of IDR. Next up is Jack Crow representing Filipiak Performance Diecast in It's a Little Loose, a 78-gram maximum leeway. From DRT3K, Nate Osaurus Rex returns in what is probably his third or fourth tournament here, driving the 70-gram Streak Mark, a street streak, and I hope he can see through that windshield sticker. Rounding up the group is none other than Numskull from Numskull Racing, driving a candy apple red Crescendo weighing 77 grams called Straight Up, which, knowing Numskull, has to be an alcohol reference. JJ and Jack start on the front row, Nate and Numskull in the back. Jack gets a good jump on the outside, but the entire group stays with him. Jack and Numskull creep forward, and Group 44 is single file. Numskull slides into Echo Base, and I think JJ Smooth is wrecked. Jack takes the final turn backwards, and will just edge out Numskull for the win. Nate is on his roof in Echo Base, likely a result of JJ's issues as they entered the turn. A smooth run for JJ until he tries to climb the outside wall of Echo Base, ultimately getting caught on an edge and taking out Natosaurus. Jack Crow takes the square so fast that he nearly wipes out in the northwest corner, but manages to bring it home for the win. Filipiak Performance Diecast doing what they do best, on top after one. Lap 1, DNFers Natosaurus and JJ Smooth up front for lap 2. Dead even past the gates of Mordor. Nate comes out of turn 2 with the lead, and Numskull throws a block on JJ. Jack Crow smashes through Numskull and makes an epic double pass in Echo Base to move into second. Nate with a big lead takes it to the house. Jack takes second, Numskull third, and JJ Smooth, again with issues, is off track on the logos. A great run by Nate, but the story of this lap is Jack's legend, wait for it, legendary double pass to move from 4th to 2nd. Jack extends his lead to 2 and will start on the inside lane the rest of the way. JJ Smooth in danger of an early exit. Numskull and Nate start up front, Jack and JJ in the back. Numskull and Jack quickly turn on the jets, and this is already the most spread out they've been all day. Numskull gets wild, but saves it just as Jack catches him. Here comes Nate as Jack takes a look on the outside. They magically swap lanes, and ooh, it's a close one. Nate definitely takes third, and wait, here comes JJ Smooth. He will smoothly limp across the line for 4th. We've had a number of lopsided groups here in round 1, but Numskull, Nate, and Jack are definitely putting on a show. Numskull's back end slid around the Echo Base turn, then swings around as he nearly drives off near the safety fence, pulling some insane wheelage to get straightened back out just before Jack Crow could take him out. I also want to give big credit to Natosaurus Rex, who fell way behind but never gave up, charging and gaining ground the entire bottom portion of the track. After 3, JJ is out with 1, Jack leads with 10, Nate is third with 6, and Numskull now only a point behind Jack for the lead. Last lap of the day with points leaders Jack and Numskull up front. Nate needs one heck of a final lap to make up that 3-point gap, but so far it's not looking good as Jack and Numskull settle out front. Numskull dives inside Jack and gives him a taste of his own medicine. There's Nate, and I've got deja vu all over again. Lap 4 is Numskull, Jack Crow, and Natosaurus Rex. JJ Smooth has just come off track, and seems to have decided to pull up over by the Jack, John, and Katie and Scotland 18 signs. Quite the battle today between a pair of drivers we could easily see in the finals, 37 months from now. How about that? Jack Crow and Numskull tie for the group win and move on to round 2. Adding today's winners to the round 2 list, some good scores from Jack and Numskull. And a quick huzzah to Natosaurus Rex, who has been judged worthy of joining the list of wildcard hopefuls. Again, none of these drivers are yet guaranteed, and it is totally subjective. Congratulations to Hector, Tip Tip, Jack Crow, and Numbskull. This has been Jim D for Indiana Diecast Racing. Be sure to check in next time for more slightly above mediocre diecast racing and the continuing round 1 action of the Final Fantasy Fracas.